Antonio Brown, Lord have mercy. He retired as a Raider. He went there, then he froze his feet. He caused all this controversy to try to get traded. He badmouthed the coach. He badmouthed the quarterback. He badmouthed the general manager. Never played it down and then got cut. If you just stick to the football field, he's a Steeler legend. That 6-year stretch that he had is literally unmatched. If you had Antonio Brown on your fantasy league team, he led you to fantasy league football victories. Him by himself. Does he deserve to have his number retired? Absolutely not. You can't be bad-mouthing your quarterback like that. He burned every bridge that Pittsburgh has. And there's a whole bunch of bridges in Pittsburgh. But is he still a Steeler legend based on what he did on the field? 100% absolutely.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, everybody? What is up? What is up? This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley, and welcome back. Welcome back to Big B Daily. We appreciate everybody being in here, man. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, Big B Daily. How are you guys doing, man? We appreciate you being here. And we are live on YouTube, live on TikTok. We appreciate everybody showing up. Thank you guys for you joining the Goon Squad. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We got a good show, man. Got a good show today, talking about some big moves in NBA free agency, some people moving around, huge contracts being doled out, huge going around. We'll talk about that today. Bobby Bonilla Day. It was Bobby Bonilla Day yesterday, but I will tell you, there are a few people that had a better day than Bobby Bonilla. And we're going to go through that a little bit. And then lastly, the Dallas Cowboys, man, what is going on with their contracts? They got 3 guys that are up or about to be up. They need to renew. What's going to happen there with the Cowboys? Is it going to spill over into the season? Are they going to have a good season, bad season? We'll see what happens. But lot going on in Dallas. We'll cover that and more. So I appreciate everybody being in here. Look, on this platform, on TikTok, you're going to get frozen up on here in about 10 minutes. So do yourself a favor. If you want to continue to keep watching, click the link in my bio. There's a live link that you can come over to the other side. A lot of people have done it. They'll tell you that the other side is better. Make sure you do that. You want to keep watching. Otherwise, if you want to help support the show and you like what we're doing, man, we would appreciate anything you want to do, whether it's a super chat on YouTube. Obviously, you get your question, your statement put up. We appreciate that. Or better yet, likes, follows, subscribe, all that good stuff on TikTok, tips, gifts. Again, share the live. We want to get at least 3,000 likes. Keep tapping that screen. Let's get this thing going, people. Let's go. Let's go. So first off, we got big moves in free agency. You know, the biggest move, and let's just talk about the actual free agent part first. Klay Thompson, part of the Splash Brothers, revitalized or helped revitalize a team, a city, is gone from the Golden State Warriors. No longer a member, has agreed to become a Dallas Maverick. I live here in the Dallas area. People are ecstatic. It was all over talk radio yesterday. People are ecstatic, and it is the perfect fit. Let's make no mistake about it. Klay Thompson is the perfect fit in Dallas. Now, you could say that, well, why wouldn't he go to LA? Why wouldn't he go to the Lakers? You know, it's a good fit in Los Angeles. His dad is an announcer there. He's a West Coast guy. He's from LA. Why not go? I mean, look, Klay Thompson is a lot of things, and smart is one of those things as well. If things don't go well in LA, he's going to get the blame. I mean, whether you love LeBron or whether you hate LeBron, if the season doesn't go great and Klay doesn't play great, he's going to get the blame. So why go put yourself through that? I agree. I agree. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it would have been a great fit with the Lakers, but why put yourself through that? But you go to Dallas, it's a perfect fit. Like CJ is it the perfect fit in Dallas? It is idea. Who would you rather have shooting wide open corner threes, which he's gonna get open looks? Would you rather have it be PJ Washington or Klay Thompson? Come on, people. I mean, that's not even up for discussion. And that's who it would be. The starting small forward or Derrick Jones Jr. There you go. Would you rather it be Derrick Jones Jr. shooting those wide open looks that Luka and Kyrie are going to get you, or do you want it to be Klay Thompson? Even though Klay Thompson, his last game, horrendous. Even though Klay Thompson, the first half of last season, he struggled. But the second half of last season, he played pretty good. Pretty good. Shot 45% from two, 41% from the 3-point line. That was pretty good. Would you rather have him playing the Derrick Jones Jr. position? Or would you, I mean, I'm just saying. So I think it's a perfect fit. And CJ, yeah, you're saying it's a perfect fit. Yes, it is the perfect fit in Dallas. And again, if the season doesn't go well, Klay Thompson's not going to get the blame for that. And you could say he took less money. Okay. Maybe he took less money, but you know what? Happiness. Happiness. Not to mention, here's the thing about happiness. People talking about less money and this. Myself, hey, took less money. But you know what? It's not like I went from making $100,000 to $50,000. I could have made probably 18 to $20 million a year, or maybe even $24 million a year. But I'm making 16, $17 million. Million dollars. Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. Nothing wrong with making $16 million a year. And that's the perspective to be happy. Yeah, I could have made up to, let's just say it's $24 million. I could have made that somewhere else. Okay. But I'm making 16. I've probably made over the time of my career, I've made 190. So I'm not going broke. Oh, by the way, that $24 million that I'm making in California, knock off 57% of that because that's taxes, federal and state taxes. In Texas, I don't have any state taxes. So no money gone. Just saying that's it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that people don't look at. So, and yeah, his defense has fallen off, but what would you rather have? For instance, look at the Mavericks. The Mavericks lost 4 games in the NBA Finals because they couldn't score over 100 points because they had guys on the court that couldn't score the basketball. So, yeah, you're going to give up a little bit on defense. Let's just say you give up a lot between Derrick Jones Jr. and Klay Thompson. Let's just say you give up a lot on defense. You gain that amount in offense. Like Derrick Jones Jr. couldn't dribble, he couldn't shoot, he couldn't score. Klay Thompson can make some baskets. I'm not saying he's the scorer that he was 5, 6, 7 years ago. I'm not trying to tell you that. But don't tell, last year he averaged almost 19 points a game, or it was 19 points a game. He can do that again. He can, especially with the looks that he's going to get, he can do that again. So Derrick wasn't balling in the finals. Derrick Jones Jr. wasn't balling in the final. They left him open and he couldn't make a shot. So, I mean, I get it. Leading up to the finals, Derrick Jones Jr. was making some shots. He was catching alley-oops. He was being the hustle guy. But when push came to shove and a team said, we are going to make you make shots, he couldn't do it. Klay Thompson will be able to do that. Hopefully. Hopefully. So I believe Klay Thompson is a perfect fit in Dallas for what they're trying to do. Good for them. Good for them. But yeah, and talking about the money aspect of it, look, don't discount state income tax. That's a lot of money, man. I mean, it's a lot of money if you're making $50,000 a year. You're telling me I don't have to pay 14% state income tax, making 50 grand, and I go to a place where it doesn't exist? Yeah, that's a lot of money for anybody. For anybody. Let's go to some comments here over on YouTube. Clay's going to struggle. Dallas plays too much one-on-one versus ball movement. Yeah, but the one-on-one brings double teams. And when the double teams mean what? That means they swing the ball to the open shooter. That's why Clay's the perfect fit. He doesn't have to be the one-on-one guy. He's not going to be the one-on-one guy. And don't best believe that Dallas is going to incorporate some pin downs for Clay to play and come off screens. He's not, I mean, he might struggle, but it ain't going to be because of the way that they play. He might struggle because, he's 34, going to be 35 years old. There's that. But I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. So, but we'll see. We'll see. My man Austin says, Cuban benefits from the state income tax big time. There was a breakdown, and Clay isn't really making less due to that. I don't know what you mean. I mean, you make more money living in Dallas, Texas than you do anywhere in California. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He makes more. And I think I know what you're going at, Austin. And when you do the actual breakdown, when you talk about the taxes, when actual cash in hand, it's probably close to the same dollar amount. I get what you're saying now. Yeah. I mean, it's a real thing, man. It's a real thing. So I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down, brother. I'm picking it up. Now I am anyway. So if I'm Jason Kidd, I'm telling Clay, chill in the corner, wait for the pass after Luke and Kyrie comes off the pick. I mean, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. He's going to get open shots. So, Big B, do the Knicks re-sign center Hardison, or does he go in free? He already went in free agency, my man. Hardenstein, you must have missed it. He signed with OKC. He did that yesterday. So, let's see. What do we got? Luka play style complements very well. He gets into the paint at will, can kick out, and Clay look, I think it's a perfect fit, people. I think it's the perfect fit. So, perfect fit. Now let's move on from Clay. We got a question over here. What do you think about the Hawks trading Murray? The Hawks aren't trying to win. Unless they just decided that him and Trae Young can't play together, which I think they needed another piece. I think they were fine. But the Hawks aren't trying to win. The Hawks aren't trying to win. And if that's the case, you should have traded Trae Young too. You should have just traded Trae Young and start over. But the Hawks aren't trying to win. They're not trying to do nothing. I thought that was a terrible move, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, certain teams are trying to win, and certain teams are not. The Hawks aren't trying to win, so they're not. They're not a serious NBA team. Not right now. They're not. They're not serious. Donovan Mitchell signs this morning. He agreed 3 years, $150 million. Good for him. $50 million a year to stay with Cleveland. That was a tricky one because a lot of people didn't think that he was going to re-up with Cleveland. Cleveland's got to make a move, though. I'm sorry, you're not going to be taken seriously in no matter what when you have two guards that are 6'2" or shorter, because Darius Garland is shorter than that. You can't be taken seriously. I'm not saying that Garland's a bad player. I'm just saying him and Mitchell, they're not defensive guys. You got to have somebody, a bigger body, somebody. It's not going to work. It's not going to work in Cleveland. I think they got to trade Garland. They're not trading Mitchell. I think you got to trade Garland, and you got to go get somebody. I fully think you got to go get somebody. a bigger body. Who that is, I don't know. But the way that it's set right now, I just don't believe that they'll be able to make that work. That's just my personal opinion. I hope they do because I like Cleveland. I like the team that they got. It's hard to win, man, with two short guys like that. So it's hard to win. Hard to win. But we'll see. We will see. So Mitchell was headed to New York. Yeah. Before the Brunson emerged. Yeah. Here's the thing. Mitchell was going to New York, and it looked like Utah or New York wouldn't give up the assets to get him. Like they had a deal in principle, and then New York said, no, sorry, we don't want to do that. And so then he went to Cleveland instead. He was going and leaving Utah. They agreed on a deal to go to the Knicks, and then the Knicks backed out at the last minute. And it was probably good for both sides. Although me personally, I think Donovan Mitchell is better than Jalen Brunson, but Brunson ain't a bad basketball player, man. He's not. So we'll see. I like him staying in Cleveland. I just think they got to make a move. Then we saw Jason Tatum sign the biggest deal in NBA history. Was it 5 years for $315 million? Or something crazy. I mean, that's a lot of money, people. That is a lot of money. So we'll see exactly what happens. We'll see exactly what happens, but that's a lot of money. Biggest deal in the history of the NBA goes to Jason Tatum. But he got a lot of pressure off of him because they won a title this year. Because he was going to sign that deal no matter what. And now the pressure is off. So what is he going to do next? Is it going to be an encore? I'll be interested to see what happens, man. Crazy. How his career progresses. Like, is he going to take the next step and reach superstardom? Because Tatum is not a superstar. He's not. Superstar is for the elite of the elite. Like, he is not on the same realm as a Kevin Durant, a LeBron, a Steph Curry. He isn't there. He's not. That he's a star, but he's not a superstar like that. And him not winning MVP of the finals proved it. It proved it. I'm not saying he played bad because he didn't play bad. He did not play bad. He played pretty good, in my opinion, and did what the team needed to do to win. But that's not a superstar. So maybe he can get there this season. Maybe he's on a kind of like Jaylen Brown in the playoffs. Jaylen Brown was on a point to prove. He had a point to prove. You guys don't think I'm very good? I'm going to go out here and show you guys how good I am. And he did it. And maybe Jason Tatum is like, look, people like Big B keep disrespecting me. I'm done with that. I'm going out here and I'm going to prove a point. Well, go prove the point, man. Prove me wrong. I'm with it. But, here we go. Mister, if we don't win game 5, it's okay. Exactly. Y'all heard me that day, the day he said that nonsense. Just so soft. Don't give me that. Oh well. One of my thoughts on Paul George going to 76ers, I think it's an outstanding move for everybody. Paul George knew they weren't winning nothing with the Clippers. He knew that Kawhi Leonard is not dependable. He knew that. He didn't like playing with James Harden. How many times did Paul George have to say it? He told you. The fit has to be right. We have to be playing the right way. And it isn't because of Ty Lue. He didn't like playing with James Harden. He didn't like it. And it didn't work. And he wanted out. Now he's going somewhere to be with Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Lord have mercy. It's perfect. So, say it again, Devin. Or Divine. I apologize. Say it again. PG got the contract that Daryl Morey didn't want to give to James Harden. Bingo, bango, exactly. Daryl Morey was like, I'm not giving this to James Harden. He ain't worth it. Sorry. You can't have it. Go somewhere else and go get it. We want somebody that's better than you. And Paul George is better than James Harden. Let's not make any mistake about it. Paul George is better than James Harden. He's better than James Harden on both ends of the court. So, and the Clippers ain't winning nothing, man. They're not. They're not. And Paul George wanted his money. It might get a little dicey the last 2 years of that contract. He's going to be 36 and 37 years old. But Paul George, he wanted his money. He's also trying to win. And that puts Philly, I think it puts Philly second in the East. I think that makes Philly second. Boston, Philly, the Knicks, Milwaukee. I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of out on Milwaukee. Horrible trade. To get rid of Drew Holiday, to bring in Dame, I know what you were thinking, that, hey, that Chris Middleton can't be the closer anymore. His knees just won't allow it. We need somebody else. But the amount that you gave up on defense just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. And your team paid the price for that, man. So, paid the price. So here we got Ruben. We got the LeBron hate out. Someone tell LeBron trying to recruit a bunch of washed-up players is not going to get him another ring. Who's the washed-up player? I don't understand. I don't understand. So, here we go. Here we go from the Goon Squad. But the pick and roll. Look, I said the pick and roll was going to work, okay, with Dame and Giannis. And it did. It does. They score at an incredible rate. They just can't stop anybody from scoring. Dame Lillard could be, for a guy that's as good as he is offensively, he's that bad defensively. He can't stop anything. He don't even put up effort to stop. He's terrible defensively. Terrible. So they run a lot of pick and roll. It works. They can score. They just can't defend. And Chris Middleton's knees don't allow him to defend anybody anymore. Like when they won the title, him and Drew Holiday, they were out there guarding guys, defending. Well, Chris Middleton can't do that anymore at a high level. Can't defend. His knees won't allow him to do that. So, yeah, Milwaukee needs to find another piece. They got to get another wing. Somebody else that can score. Because Chris Middleton, his days of being that guy are over. They are over. So, let's move on, people. Let's move on. My favorite topic, Bobby Bonilla Day. Bobby Bonilla Day. Now, it was yesterday, but I'm here to tell you, we call it Bobby Bonilla Day for a reason. I mean, Bobby Bonilla signed that deal. He gets $1.1 million till 2035, and he's been getting it for a long time. Bobby Bonilla. But he ain't the only guy. Ken Griffey Jr. yesterday got $3.59 million. That's Ken Griffey Jr. Okay? Now, that was the last year. So, his deal is up. But that's how much Ken Griffey got. So, he wasn't the only guy. take that back. Manny Ramirez. Need to get that off of there. But Manny Ramirez, he got $1.96 million. Manny Ramirez, he's another guy. Chris Davis, maybe some people have heard of him. Maybe some people haven't. Chris Davis, $9.16 million. Unbelievable. Matt Holiday, $1.4 million. These are the guys that had deferred contracts. Look, here's what I will say. There are 6 guys on this list. 5 of these guys, pretty good, if you count Bobby Bonilla. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Has anybody, first of all, here's Chris Davis. Let's just break Chris Davis down. The definition of having a contract year. Chris Davis was a below average baseball player for his career. I'll throw that out there. He had a good season. He got this ginormous contract, and he immediately sucked after that. Terrible baseball player. Just went into the toilet, and he got 9.1. His total deferment, $65 million. From, I think it was, let me look at this correctly. But in 2022, Chris Davis got $23 million to not play baseball. In 2023 through 2025, Chris Davis gets $9.16 million a year to not play baseball. From 2026 to 2032, Chris Davis gets $3.5 million to not play baseball. From 2033 to 2037, Chris Davis gets $1.4 million to not play baseball. So from 2002 to 2037, Chris Davis, that you heard me right, Chris Davis is getting $65 million to not play baseball. Just absolute robbery. Robbery. And I know there's a couple of Orioles fans out there that can feel my pain. That are like, oh my God, we finally come off the dime. We pay this guy big time money. And boom, you pay it to him, and he is an absolute bust of a baseball player. Just a bust. Lord have mercy. I feel sorry for you. I really do. I really do. $65 million to not play baseball. In 15 years. That's crazy. That is crazy. So I know we call it Bobby Bonilla Day because he started it, and good for him. Good for him. There we go. See, there's the pain that I'm looking for the Oriole fans. I knew it. My Oriole gave that man the worst contract ever. I mean, Chris Day, I would be venture to say 60% of the people in this chat have no idea who Chris Davis even is. They don't, because first of all, it's a common name, and they're like, who the hell is Chris Davis? Who is he? And you'd be right. You would be right. Terrible. Terrible. Oh my goodness. Just terrible. But we'll see, man. We'll see. We will see. That's just, oh. There's my man with Can. We try not to think of that. Bum. I mean, Lord have mercy. There's been some bad contracts through professional sports. Albert Hainsworth comes to mind. I mean, there's been some bad contracts that have been thrown around. Chris Davis is one of the worst. Because at least Albert Hainsworth didn't get $100 million guaranteed. You know. So while he signed for that, he didn't get it all. Chris Davis is getting every single penny. Every single penny. So, every single penny. Chris Davis is the clear outlier here. Yes, $9 million a year. The other guys were pretty, yes, that was exactly, Austin. The other guys are pretty good. Like Bobby Bonilla was an all-star. Matt Holliday, good. Manny Ramirez, great player, not good. And whether you think he was on steroids or not, which clearly he was, still great baseball player. Ken Griffey, top 10 baseball player of all time. I don't care what anybody says. Argue with your mama. Ken Griffey Jr., if he doesn't go down to injuries like he did, he's in the top 3 of baseball players of all time, in my opinion. Ken Griffey Jr. was that good. The rest of these guys, all good. Chris Davis, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. It just terrible. Just terrible. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Oh, my God. Get the crazy room ready for whoever agreed to that. Lord have mercy, we can. We're not even going to put them in a padded room. They don't even get the pads in that room, we can. They don't even get the pads. Just throw them in the room, a concrete block, and throw away the key. They don't even get a padded room. Padded room is for people that we want to get better, that they're sick. We want them to get better so they don't hurt themselves. Whoever made that deal, they don't deserve to get better. They're not sick. They're just stupid. Get them out of here. Lord have mercy. Jiminy, Chris Davis. Whew. And you talk about, well, and Baltimore is not technically small market, but you could say it is. But that's why they don't give out those deals like that, because you put it on the wrong guy, that'll set you back. It'll set you back. So, But good for the Orioles, because the Orioles are playing good baseball right now. They found a way, even though I would say Chris Davis takes up half their payroll. Or I would venture to say, and I didn't do the research, but I know you Orioles fans out there, I would be willing to bet that this $9 million that Chris Davis got from the Orioles this year, I bet you it's top 5 in salaries that they pay somebody. I would guarantee it. I didn't, no research. I guarantee you that that 9.1 is in the top 5 of salaries that they're paying somebody. Oriole fans, somebody look that up for me and see if I'm right or wrong. Oh, brutal. Just brutal. But yeah, Bobby Bonilla, all-star. Matt Holliday, all-star. Manny Ramirez. At the time, Manny Ramirez was a superstar. Now, you can say he was on steroids, but the Manny Ramirez that we know and remember and love, he was a superstar baseball player. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Ken Griffey Jr., top 10 baseball player of all time. That's all he was. Chris Davis, bum. We got to start calling it the Chris Davis Day. The Bobby Bonilla, now, don't get me wrong, Bobby Bonilla still gets this $1.1 million. It's like 1.14, I believe, until 2035. Chris Davis, he gets paid until 2037, man. 2037, he gets paid. Oh, and Ken Griffey Jr., you look at him, this was his last year. It's like he made a ton of money in endorsements. That's why he's like, you know what? I'll just take the money. You don't have to pay all this to me. Help the team. I'll defer it out. It's no biggie. People don't even know who the hell Chris Davis is. He wasn't getting no endorsements. Maybe he knew something we didn't know. Maybe he knew these people are crazy giving me this kind of money. I am not near this good. So if they need me to defer it, I'll defer it because I'll be out of the league in 3 years. I'll be out of the league in 5 years. Defer the money. That's fine. Whatever. I won't even be playing baseball when you're paying me $65 million over 15 years. I won't even be anywhere close to the league. I'm going to be on a beach somewhere, not even thinking about baseball, but I'll be cashing that check. Good for him, man. Good for him. Good for him. Oh, well. That's kind of what it is, man. That's kind of what it is. We're going to move on, though. That's enough talking about Chris Davis. We can't keep talking about Chris Davis. It's going to piss off the Oriole fans that come in here every day. I apologize, man. So Cowboys, let's talk about the Cowboys and their contract dilemma. You know, it was all over sports talk yesterday between Klay Thompson and the Mavs and the Dallas Cowboys contract. That's all they wanted to talk about. And people are saying that Jerry Jones is holding the line here, that he's finally holding the line. And a lot of people are mad about that. Now, let me just ask you guys this. Hear me out. If the Dallas Cowboys, if their owner, who's made horrendous decisions over the years, is finally saying, okay, I'm going to hold the line. I'm not just going to dole out all this money. I need to see some damn results before I dole it out. Here's my point. I think you have to pay CeeDee Lamb. I think you got to pay CeeDee Lamb. I do. I think he's the guy that you have to pay. And I think you got to pay him first because you know what the market is already. It's not like you don't know. You know what the wide receiver market for his caliber is. He's 25 years old. You got to pay the guy. So pay him. Micah Parsons, I wait until next year. I don't give Micah Parsons. And it's not because Micah Parsons ain't great, but you can't pay everybody. I pay next year. Dak Prescott doesn't get a contract from me. Dak Prescott would not get a contract from me unless we go to the NFC Championship game. If we go to the NFC Championship game, then I'm going to be willing to pay whatever premium I have to pay Dak. And I'll take my chances. You know what? It is what it is at this point. I'll take my chances. The salary cap's going to continue to go up. There's money all over the place. We'll restructure, but I'll pay Dak. I'll pay him what I need to pay him. I'm not going to pay him top dollar. I'm going to tell you, you're not getting top dollar from us. But I will give you 50 to 52, 55 million a year. I'll do that. But you're not getting 60 million from us on average. That's not going to happen, Dak. Sorry. We're not doing that. You want a deal? If you think you're worth that, go somewhere else and get it. But you're not getting it from us. If I'm Jerry, I hold the line, man. I hold the line. Because you want your quarterback. I talked to a Cowboys fan a couple of weeks back, and he was screaming, "You're crazy. What? The Cowboys have never had a losing season under Dak." I'm like, okay, so what? Kenny Pickett never had a losing season as a Steelers quarterback either. You gonna pay him that kind of money? I mean, just think about that. Baker Mayfield has done he's won 2 playoff games in his career. So is Dak. Paying him the same kind of money? I mean, just think about that for a second. You know, he was screaming, "Oh, they went 12-5 and they won the division." I'm like, nobody cares. You got embarrassed in the playoff game. Now, I'm not saying that losing in the playoffs was Dak's fault because I don't believe that it was. He didn't play good, but it was that game was over before he threw his pick six. That game was over. Dak didn't play good, but the defense lost that game. I mean, Green Bay never punted. How are you going to win a game when you can't force a punt? So, but the bottom line with all that is I don't pay Dak. I don't pay Dak. So, I wouldn't pay Dak ever. I wouldn't give him that kind of money. But y'all know my stance on all of that. I'm done giving quarterbacks top dollar for mediocre performance. I'm over that. Stop paying for that. Stop paying a premium for that. You wouldn't do that for anything else in life. Like, who would pay for, I don't even know, I'm just taking this out of context, but let's just say Jordans are the best shoe that's ever made. The best shoe ever made. And the cost of it is $200. Well, you're not going to pay for Big B's shoe. You're not going to pay $200 for Big B's shoe that you know is mediocre. So why would you do that? You know, when people grocery shop, you grocery shop and you look for the things that you want. You're not paying, you know, if you can buy apples for $20, you know, an orchard of apple, whatever it is, $20 is way out of context. Whatever it is, $10 for apples. You're not going to pay 20 just so you can say, you know what? I really like these apples. I know they're only $10, but I'm going to pay 20. You're not going to do that. So why should anybody else do that? It's crazy. It's crazy. I wouldn't pay him. I wouldn't pay him. Let me go to some of these comments, man. My man Pat Cockrell, who is a Dallas Cowboy fan, 100% Lamb should be top priority. And do not, under any circumstances, pay Dak unless he has a Super Bowl appearance. Screw NFC title. Go to the Super Bowl and we'll talk. That's a Dallas Cowboy fan right there, people. He's done with Dak. That's what it sounds like to me. He is done with Dak. And I don't blame him. Because if you can't get us where we're wanting to go, it's not like this is your 3rd, 4th, or 5th year. 8 years, I think it's pretty evident. We're not going to get there with you. So why do I have to keep paying you this kind of money when I know we can't get to where I'm trying to go? You can't get us there. Sorry. Not paying you. Move on. I agree. My man, what can? Micah Parsons needs to stop disappearing and improve on run stopping. I've been screaming that. I think Micah Parsons is great. But how many times have we, against the Packers, you didn't even know Micah Parsons was playing in the football game. And the Packers were doing wind sprints. You didn't even know Micah Parsons was playing. That's how much impact he had on that playoff game last year. Now, you can say that other people weren't doing their job. Well, neither was he. He had a half tackle in the game, a half tackle. And when they decided to run the football, the Packers just said, we're going to run right at you, Micah Parsons. Stop us. We're coming right at you. What are you going to do about it? He trying to run around blocks. You can't run around blocks in the NFL, and it doesn't work out for you. Sorry. Now Micah Parsons is in a beef with one of his teammates. Hooker called him out, said he needs to stop doing podcasts and watch more film. Micah Parsons, oh, it's on our day off is when we film it. Hey, man, you can't watch film on your day off? You can't do that? That's part of the Cowboys' problem right there. Everybody wants to be a star versus just being the best football player they can be. It's a problem. The decision begins and ends with Dak, says my man Ruben Ortiz. Unfortunately, his contract is due to end the soonest, and your decision there directly affects the next two. I don't think it does. Well, Ruben, you might be right. You may be right because his contract is up first because it's up this year. But you don't have to pay him. I mean, that would be my thing is you don't have to pay him. You can just move on. And in all actuality, if we're all being honest, I think Dak wants to move on. Now, he'll stay if they're going to pay him the money because you're not going to turn it down to stay where you're comfortable and wherever you know everything. But if we're just being honest, I think Dak wants to go play for a different team. I really do. And if things don't work out this year with my Pittsburgh Steelers, I would take Dak Prescott. I would take Dak in a heartbeat. Now, we're not going to pay you $55 million, Dak. But if you want to come to Pittsburgh for 45, we'll give you $45 million. Come to our culture. Come here. Come play in Pittsburgh. We do that. And change of scenery may help you. But that's only if things don't work out with the Steelers. If they do work out this year, I'm taking Russell Wilson over you. Sorry. That's just life. That's life. But Ruben's right. The decision, he's right. It starts with Dak because his contract is up first. You're exactly right. Who do you believe is walking between the three? Micah, CD, Dak. Cowboys are in cap hell, and it's not going to get any better. They're actually not in cap hell. They're actually not. You can restructure some of these things. They're not in cap hell. They can sign all three if they want to. I just don't think Jerry Jones wants to. And I agree. But the Cowboys will be worse. Why? They let go of Tyron Smith. They should have never done that. Tyron Smith had the best year last season that he's had in like 4 or 5 years because he's been super hurt. I mean, he missed some games last year. He was a second-team All-Pro. Not Pro Bowler, All-Pro, which means at your position, he was the second-best guy in the league. And they let him walk. Stupid mistake. Either he wanted – I think he would have stayed if they'd have paid him. But what did he get, $10 million to go to the Jets? It wasn't anything crazy. Cowboys didn't want to give him. He left. I think that's a horrible mistake. Horrible mistake. So think about that when you're talking about Dallas. Is Dallas going to be good? They're not going to be as good on the offensive line. I can tell you that right now. But I think Parsons isn't going anywhere, and neither is CD. If anybody leaves, it's going to be Dak. If anybody leaves, it's going to be him. So, we'll see, man. We will see. It's brutal. is brutal in Dallas. Let's open this up, man. Q&A before we shut this down. What do you guys want to talk about? So, what do you guys want to talk about? Football? Want to talk NFL? Want to talk college? What questions that you have? Little baseball, you know. So, my man Houston was still, or Uston, still trying to argue about his New York Knickerbockers. Unbelievable. Talking about they beat Philly. Man, that was last year. Okay? Philly's better. And oh, by the way, if Embiid was healthy, they'd have beat you. Period. End of story. And they're better. They are better. Philly, I got it. Boston, Philly, the Knicks, Milwaukee. In that order. In that order. Did I see the NCAA NCAA 25 top 10 list for toughest places to play? I did not. The one thing that I have seen, I've seen best offenses, best defenses, and I'm like, how is Colorado in the best defense? How is Colorado in the best offense? I mean, you talk about playing up to the masses. Like, Colorado had the worst offensive line maybe in the history of the NCAA last year. And somehow they have a top 25 offense in this damn game. Give me a break. And then their defense was like a sieve. It was like literally Swiss cheese. Just holes everywhere. You want to run it? You can run. You want to pass? You can pass. Whatever you want to do against Colorado's defense, you could do it. And now you're going to tell me they have a top 25 defense? Give me a break. Give me a break. That just, oh my goodness. The Dion effect. Oh. Ugly. Ugly, ugly. Big B, not sure you touched on it, but have you heard about the Jamarcus? Yeah, man. Jamarcus Russell's in a bad way. First of all, he's going to jail. Let's just start there. If anybody hadn't heard, Jamarcus Russell, biggest bust in NFL history, was turning his life around, it seemed like. You know, he made, what was it, like $40 million. He spent all that money. But it looked like he had turned his life around. He did a couple of interviews. He became an assistant coach at a high school, you know, trying to clean up his act, trying to better kids' lives. Well, just so happens that $74,000 of a donation check that was given to Jamarcus to help these kids, he stole it. He stole it. And now he's going to, first of all, he got fired because, hey, if you steal $74,000, that's a donation, you're going to get fired. And he's going to lose his job. Or he lost his job and he's going to go to jail. He's going to go to jail. Yeah, man, that's, like I said, he had tried to turn his life around and he was in the process of doing that. And somebody gives you a donation. So, but here's the thing, though. It's a donation. Why would you make a $74,000 check out to Jamarcus Russell? Like, seriously, if I'm donating, I don't make a check out to anybody personally. I can assure you of that. I'm not going to do that. So, but whatever. Whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, my man Austin. Nope. We already covered that. Sorry. Are you talking about Ollie Gordon DUI on the Big 12 Insiders today? No, I am not. We're talking about Utah and their coach that got a basically coach in waiting with his big contract. So no Ollie Gordon DUI talk today. It's not really my thing, man. You know, kids are kids. If they're in trouble, let the legal process bear itself out. We can talk about that at another time. I feel like lots of kids could get a DUI. I really do. I feel like any college kid, is getting a DUI that's drinking. I could have. I'm sure a lot of you could have. We just didn't get caught. We just didn't get caught. I'm not saying the DUI is something to sneeze at. I'm not saying that at all. People die every day from it. Every single day. I think it's a huge deal. I have a friend, lost somebody to DUI, lost a family member to DUI. So it is not something to sneeze at. But what I'm saying is the act itself, college kids do it every single day. So that doesn't make it any less devastating when something happens. But I would rather let the legal process bear itself out before I say anything about it. That's all. That's all. So, man, Les Miles is trying to sue everybody. He's lost his luster. Now he's suing everybody. You cheated, you got caught. Now you're mad and you're trying to sue people because it cost you from being Les Miles. Is Les Miles out of money? But what it sounds like, because Les Miles is trying to get into the Hall of Fame. And because he lost those victories at LSU where they were cheating and got caught, now he's under the 60% that coaches need winning percentage to get into the Hall of Fame. Why 60% is the cutoff is an ignorant thing to me anyway, but whatever. Like Mike Leach will never get into the Hall of Fame because he's at 59.4 or 59.6. They don't round up, whatever it is. They don't round to the next number. So Mike Leach, who unfortunately passed away last year, can't get into the Hall of Fame. When he was revolutionary, not only in college football, but in football in general. That guy's not going to be in the College Football Hall of Fame. What the hell? So, but we'll see, man. It is what it is. We're going to shut this one down for today, people. We appreciate everybody showing up and showing out. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, Big B Daily. We love you guys. We will see you tomorrow. Aloha.